Hey there. I have been juggling around some software products that have been sent to me for quite some time now, and some of them are really unique, some of them are really interesting, but rather than just making a review where I show you what they do and show you some sounds that are already on the website for the product, I decided that I would do something a little bit more interesting, and so we're going to try a little experiment this time. Something you may not know about me is that some years back, I had spent well over a decade as an award-winning composer for advertising and television. So all too often you end up with a bunch of completely delusional musical tasks that make a Japanese game show seem comfortable. And me, I like it. It's a musical boot camp. There's no better way to, I guess, exercise your musical muscles than just, I guess it's almost like a reality show or something. So I figured that rather than just rattling off a product's accolades and showing you the product, I would take this experience of mine and combine it with a new product blindly. And so in this case, what I did is I took my dog for a walk in the woods and I just recorded some Steadicam footage of her and then color graded it, edited it together without any real consideration for what the music's gonna sound like, just a quick little like 50-second video. And now plop, I'm gonna have to score that. I'm gonna have to score the entire thing in under 60 minutes. In fact, I'm gonna have to score the entire thing in under 60 minutes using nothing but UVI's Toy Suite sample library. So warning, the next segment of this video is just that. Nothing sensational happens, nobody dies, nothing even crashes. It's just me trying to churn out a listenable score in under an hour in a crazy time crunch, utilizing a very specific library of samples. And if that sounds boring to you, then I don't blame you at all. Then just look in the description below and there will be a timestamp to the finished video. All right, we're going. I guess I'll just keep this up here. I like to use FL Studio to film ads, and this is an ad for my dog. I'm not giving her away or anything. I'm also used to using more than one monitor for this, but that would be completely pointless for the screen grabbing session here, so I'm gonna have to actually work in a very confined space. 140 feels not actually too bad. I thought this would be a bit too quick. Ooh. One thing you find is that like often a video matches a tempo almost mysteriously well. I want it to calm down right around here. This is where I want to take a break in the music. And then I want it to pop back in as soon as she starts walking uphill. Since I'm working on such a time constraint here, I kind of want to use just like a standard bluegrass chord inversion. Maybe like a G, D, G major, D major, C major, D major, A minor, as we go through there, B minor, up to a C major, and then rest on the G. I'm feeling folky, so I'm going to use acoustic. Let's see what we got. I'm going to really have to try hard not to waste a bunch of time playing with this. All these sounds are so loosey. Yeah, they're all very loosey. Ooh, I have a guitar lele. It's one of my favorite instruments. Okay. Alright, now let's actually find a sound. They sound a little fake when I'm bending the speed that much. Let's go back to the 140s. Okay, so this is minor, I guess. Major, minor. Not as much space as I'm comfortable with working with here, but let's try it. So I would start out with G major. By the way, this whole ukulele thing is going to be like in the background. I'm just sort of like timing out the melody for now. Oh man, Animal Blocks. Do you remember these? These are from 1942.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, I had a bunch of those.
Me too.
I was too old for them, actually. I was like in my 30s at that point. Those are scary. 1938, wood and steel. Wow. Look at those little guys. They don't have a year on that one. I like how they have the year on some of these.
I remember those.
Really?
Yeah.
So, what did you do with the rotary thing?
I don't know. I just remember the sight of them from like nursery.
This is when Swiss people were really popular in the U.S. Seems to be like this time in like the 50s and 60s when like you'd have these Swiss children with like red rosy faces and they'd be eating chocolate, not like walking around, but just in just in toys and stuff like that. You'd have little figurines of them, it seemed. I remember that from the 50s. I had just gotten back from World War II and I was really tired. It took forever. Fucking Hitler. I really want to hit that like music for found harmonium that well, yeah, I guess we are in the scale. Yeah, okay. So I can't do that. That would be copyright infringement. So something so I'm just going to make a loop and see if it fits all the chords. Again, this isn't something I would normally do, but since we only have 44 minutes remaining, fill in those holes. Also, I'm like totally forgetting that I'm working with a massive sample library. Children's guitar. I don't need your reverb right now, buddy. Or your delay. Okay. The way that I like to work is very different than how most people use FL Studio. I like to use all one giant pattern. I just like to use that timeline because it prevents me from doing essentially what I'm doing right now, which is fine for ads, but if I'm working on my own music, I want to stay away from looping things. I like every phrase being different. Otherwise, I get really bored fast, so... But let's... Oh no, we got a tuning issue here. Let's figure out what's going on with the tuning here. I assume that this is just tuned at what they sampled it at, which is fine. If I had unlimited time for this, in Contact I would write a little script to randomize the timing of these notes as I was hitting them, so there would be a little bit of a delay in some of them. And I could do that in Falcon as well, which I can load this in, but I'm just not because I only have 38 minutes. Oh man, okay. Okay, let's work on percussion. I don't want to go electric. There's so much cool electric stuff I'm seeing. Oh my god, the SK1. Look at that. There's baby drums, shakers. Ooh, an egg shaker. That'd be good. So different velocity layers. Alt-U. There we go. And then I'm going to randomize these. And if it works, I'll do it for the whole track. Randomize. Those shakers are starting to sound a little shitty, aren't they? I might have to do it by hand. Ugh, there's not enough sample layers for it to sound real, unfortunately. I almost wonder, a lot of times loops sound good. A skin shaker, what the hell is that? Ugh.
What were those things called? You know, like you held the stick and then you rubbed like the beats.
Rain sticks?
No.
Tambourine, maybe? Do you remember those?
Yeah.
I don't. These must all be British toys, European toys or something. Do you remember your Portuguese band?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh. It's my Portuguese band, Mom, see? And they're like, your mom's like, shut up!
It's just a phase.
Turn the Portuguese... Plastic trumpets. This is very Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Could we use this?
I don't know.
I mean, I think we kind of can, can't we? Maybe if it was a quarter note, it's just a bit delusional. Okay, so the squeaking starts on 25. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud. Maybe a little low, slower. And take note of that, 8% CPU for 5 samples open. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think my only... Oh, we got loops and phrases. Saves the day. Amazing. Okay. That was going to be my big complaint. I didn't even see it. A lot of times with percussive stuff, you have to have a loop of somebody playing it, otherwise it just doesn't sound real. Oh, I could drag and drop it into the... What? Take note of that. I can just drag and drop it into the session. Wow. That's amazing. I don't even understand how that works from like a development standpoint. Okay. So our problem now, small problem that we're running into. Again, this isn't really a UVI problem. This is just sort of like a string loop problem. This is sounding a little out of time. And one way we could deal with this is by reverberating the hell out of it. That'll also kind of put it into the background a little bit more. That might be a good idea. That way the percussion stays the percussion, and this isn't as much of a percussion, but more of a chord. Should also lower the volume a little bit, and we should also throw in some bass. And so another way of doing this would be to make one of these your master percussion things. So like, let's just say it was this. We do that, and then you could actually sidechain the ukulele behind that, and that'll kind of, there's like transients of the picking that are off time won't be as noticeable. Okay. We need some bass. Guitars, musical baby drums, melodicas, harmonicas, blow toys, musical gadgets. I'm gonna have to cheat, I think. Yeah, there's nothing else that'll create bass for me. Oh my god, we only have 12 minutes remaining. I don't have time to even preview this. I feel like I usually come out more efficient when I'm panicking in this world. All of these loops aren't fitting together, and I'm going to have to side chain them under everything else. At this point, we're kind of running out of time. I'm going to select all of these, like so, and I'm going to press Control L, boom, and that just speeds things up there. I'm going to call it duck, because everything that goes in here is going to get ducked. And so these are all out of whack, and they're all going to get ducked. So I'm going to right click with channel 8 selected. I'm going to right click duck. I'm going to route to this channel only. Uke chord, also going to go into duck, which might be, actually, sorry, uke loop should go into duck, which might, we'll see if that's bad or not. We'll see if it works. And then in drums, I'm going to go down to controller, go to peak controller. And now when I play the drums with my fingers here, you can see that's creating these peaks. So I'm going to go into duck, and I don't really have enough time to set this up the way I normally would, so I'm going to do it quickly in my 4 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. I'm going to link to controller. That controller will be the internal controller, the peak controller, and then I'm going to invert it. Boom. So you'll watch this channel every time I hit this. It'll go down a bit, but now it's raised everything in the duck channel, so I need to put, and so it's not actually like a duck like quack, it's a duck like we're ducking things. So I'm going to bring it back down to 0 decibel, and now I can adjust the tension. Since I'm not aiming for a sidechain effect like the kind you would get with trance music or something, I'm actually going to bring the decay really, for some reason, up. So remember inverting everything, so the decay going higher will mean that if it goes lower, then it'll take that long to bring it up. But I'm going to bring it up really, really high so it's not noticeable, or as not noticeable as we could possibly get it. However, my tension's going to be a bit higher. Okay, I sound like Ben Carson. Is Ben Carson the guy? Who's the Ben Tucker? The conservative guy who speaks really fast. I hate him, but I sound like him right now. Okay, we need a horn or something. Oh my god, I hope the first. We got 3 minutes left, so I really hope the first thing that I press is the jam. Maybe move this out of the way would help. Oh, Lord, melodicas work well. A basic melodica. Oh. 2 minutes. Okay. No time to put echo on that, so I'm just gonna have to record this live into the session. Okay, got 1 minute and 20 seconds to fix that up. Oh, if I could only have some vibrato on there. Is there any modulation on this thing? Any, please. Give me... Oh, there is. 3, 2, 1. Lower the volume of this. Okay. We're done. Here is my ultra brief and informative UVI Toy Suite review. It has over 370 acoustic and electronic instruments in there that are all quite meticulously categorized and labeled. And what I really liked, they didn't seem to do as much of this in the World Suite, but what I really liked here is they gave a little bit of information about where it came from, what year the toy was from, and they show a little picture of it, and it kind of made me want to start like a little toy instrument collection in my house. As always with UVI stuff, the sample quality is superb, it's professional, there's no transients unless it's a natural transient that organically comes with what's being sampled. 1/3 of the sample library that I didn't really have that much time to dive into is actually a chiptune inspired, like Commodore 64 SID tune type of library that actually sounds really, really warm and really, really nice and has a really cool interface to play with. So if you're into that type of thing, definitely check this out. Like all of UVI libraries, Toy Suite can either be used in its own sampler engine that it ships with when you buy it, or it can be loaded into Falcon, which makes it kind of infinitely powerful. If you watched my UVI Falcon review, you'd know that I think that UVI Falcon is among the best synthesis a computer can make. These sample libraries have the capability of just being opened in Falcon as an asset for a greater synth patch, which is so UVI Toy Suite. I'm going to be 100% honest here. $400 is a bit much to ask for the average musician just because they're not going to be using it that much. If you're into chiptunes, then you should definitely check this out, and this might actually be worth that amount of money. If you're into any type of like film, game, ad composing, anything like that, this is a no-brainer because it's a bunch of unique sounds. A bunch of unique sounds always come in handy for that type of work. If you go to UVI's website and check out the sample tracks that they have on their SoundCloud for Toy Suite, you'll see exactly what I mean. These sounds are really, really useful for setting sort of a gentle and playful narrative, even when used sparingly. If you're not a professional composer for these things and you're kind of on the fence and this might be a little bit too much money for you to spend, I can't promise anything, but UVI does have some pretty great sales from time to time, so I'd maybe give it a peep around Black Friday. But along with everything that UVI's given me as a sample library, this is not any different in that it is very professionally sampled, it's very professionally categorized, everything sounds crisp, their transients are only organic transients, everything is just superb. If you have an hour to kill, I wouldn't recommend spending it on this, but if you like, I will upload the entire hour-long session of me writing this to a separate video and link to it in the description. I dove into this a little bit too confident. I thought that I would do a better job. I thought that I would produce something that would maybe be 80% of what I would actually deliver to a client, but I probably did something that was more like 40% of what I would actually deliver to a client. That's not saying anything bad about the sample library. Part of the fun of this was that I had no idea what was in the sample library. I just kind of found things and used them, which I guess was the whole point. This was fun, for me at least. When I ran a music school in Chicago, I used to occasionally teach ad and television composing workshops, and I was wondering how I could possibly mimic that interactive experience online. Does that interest you? If you are interested, just out of bumbling curiosity as I brainstorm on this, what do you think would be a fair price to pay? Considering that the work is very interactive and I show your submissions to actual advertising executives and people who work at composing houses, they give you revisions, they actually grade your score, and you walk away with something for a demo reel to actually send to real agencies. Obviously, I'm not announcing or promising anything, just a brainstorm idea, and your comments could help me out a lot. And as always, if you learned anything or liked what you saw here, subscribe to the channel. If you want more frequent updates that are synth-related or dog-related, feel free to follow me on Instagram. Thanks for watching. Bye.